Yeah, if you're new to Property Source Radio, Carlos is Carlos Rodriguez. Spent 25 years in the Attorney General's office, and we're thrilled to have him every Saturday on Property Source Radio here at Sports Radio 950 ESPN. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy
to be here.
Your last Saturday off?
Yes, I did.
You were in court. You probably can't get into the ins and outs, but...
Yeah, I get assigned to some domestic violence cases, and I had to be in court, and unfortunately, you can't adjourn those cases.
No.
Regrettably,
Did you sue anybody good lately?
I don't sue people. I get assigned to represent kids in family court, and it's a wonderful experience.
Okay.
I love it.
You have such a great, distinguished career in this line of work. But one of the things you focus in every week on scams and unusual court situations, and everyone kind of has that, wow, I can't believe this is an issue.
True.
And when we first started using you on Property Source Radio, it was right when that whole RG&E thing was coming out about how a lot of information had been garnished illegally about RG&E customers. And just to kind of summarize what was involved, and then let's go into how you got into it and what the process is and how the progress is going.
Well, back, I don't know, a couple of months ago, a month and a half ago, RG&E announced that there was a data breach. Some third party that they hired, some consultant, they say, somehow if customer information got compromised, in other words, account information, social security numbers, and other financial information sort of went south.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of that, the law requires RG&E and NYSEG, there were two companies, utilities involved, to notify all the customers that there might be a problem with identity theft. So the process is knowing that identity theft is one of those crimes that I'm really concerned about because it's a $40 billion business. I've been a victim twice, and I just, just worry that someone has my information and is out there buying stuff under my good credit.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
Wouldn't it be smarter to destroy your credit and then you won't have any headaches? Just, have bad credit, max out.
What do you mean by destroying your credit, though?
Ruin it, whatever you do to ruin it. Bad, don't pay your bills and so forth, and then you won't have anybody stealing your identity. And if they do, they can't go forward to getting credit in your name. Just taking the opposite side of the fence for a second
here. Yeah, but then you can't buy anything. You won't be able to buy a car.
I know. It just sounded cool for a second there.
This is Pat.
This is just Pat being Pat.
Logic.
Yeah. But he actually was going to try to figure out a way to point out what we already know.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to ruin my credit because then it'll be a terrible situation.
But in the RG&E situation, they offered everybody whose information was stolen an opportunity to be given a credit reference service, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And that's where some of the questions came up with us.
Right. I wasn't sure what because I went on the internet site that they gave, and they gave you a code, a passcode, password.
Because we all got a letter from RG&E.
And then I started reading the terms and conditions of that free offer. Mm-hmm. And every time I hear free, I always put quotes around it because I don't know if down the road, if I don't cancel in time, then I'm going to be stuck with a year.
Right.
So, an automatic renewal, it's going to be, you get your credit card bill statement and you're going to see a, $50 bill and you want to know where it's coming from. It's probably the automatic renewal. Yeah. So I had doubts about that. I'm not saying don't do it, but I had doubts. Mm-hmm. So anyway, there's alternative ways to find out if you're a victim of this data breach. And it's by requesting your credit report, which I did. I know a lot of folks didn't do it. And I'm still trying to urge the folks here to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think I gave you the form, or if not,
I have it,
it's on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got one of my credit reports back already. And
everything looks good?
Yes, everything, knock on wood, everything. I checked through everything, and that, what you want to check for to see if any new accounts were opened since this January, since the data breach. Mm-hmm. Oh. And so far, one report, no.
Okay.
But there's two others.
Yeah.
There's 3 credit reporting agencies, and I got one from the TransUnion.
Yes, Equifax, right? Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
Yes, there's
Listen
3.
to you over there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you must have done it.
I have gotten my credit report before for various things. I trying to get some things squared away with school, and I had some outstanding student debt and pulled my credit report.
Yes. The second thing I did very quickly is request that the initial fraud alert be placed on the 3 credit reporting agencies. And what that would do is say my information, the scammer did try to open a new account in my name. That gives a warning to the credit reporting agencies that that something's going on, that you may be a victim of identity theft, and it stops it.
And I believe
cool.
that this whole RG&E thing, not only were you able to get access to your credit report, but also you get a certain amount of time of credit monitoring, which means they'll be on the lookout in case, they don't just send you your credit report and go, okay, everything looks good. They monitor it for a certain period of time free of charge so that if something comes up, months from now, then you're protected.
Yeah, that's a good thing, the monitoring, but you mentioned an important word, free of charge. And that's where I'm not still sure whether
That's
it's
his red
totally
flag.
free.
Yeah.
That's my red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, I mean, a year could go by, you forget to renew them, before you know it, you're paying.
Yeah,
for the
you're paying.
service. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could do this stuff yourself, like I did the initial fraud alert just by sending a letter.
Well, that's because you're a retired guy and you have all kinds of time to do this stuff.
I wish I did. I have less time now
That's
than I
true.
had when I was working full time.
Hey, the man was working last Saturday, remember?
Right.
I want to get to this North Carolina, South Carolina thing. This is quite a story.
Yeah, I started doing a little more research, and this is happening in a couple of states. And I only think that if things happen in other states, they may happen here in New York. And this is really a border. Apparently, North Carolina and South Carolina redid their state lines.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, according to this article I read. What the
Sure, the borders.
dividing the border. And apparently this gentleman owned a gas station, what he thought was in South Carolina. A gas station.
Right.
And in South Carolina, you could sell fireworks, and I guess the price of gasoline is pretty decent compared to North Carolina. After the survey, he found out that the gas station's in North Carolina.
Oh, what a horrible business destroyer.
So now
He wound up closing the business because
he's got to charge more for his gas.
Right, higher gas prices, and he can't sell fireworks
Oh, my gosh.
in North Carolina.
Man, oh man.
And apparently, there's other disputes. They're redoing the Indiana-Michigan border.
What's going on with all these changes all of a sudden?
I
With
have
these
no
state
idea.
lines?
Because now, remember when
Government
in the 1700s they didn't have GPS and all that. So now, I guess.
Maybe okay.
Well, and I mentioned a golf course in town. The Locust Hill Country Club is part of 2 towns. Mm-hmm. Part of it is when you drive by on Jefferson Road. Part of the golf course.
I drive by there almost every day.
Part of it's in Pittsford. Part of it's in Henrietta.
Right.
Yep.
And I would imagine they have to pay taxes to both towns.
Good question.
I don't know.
I thought it was one or the other. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, some lot lines. It's I know we're in my neighborhood, parts Pittsford, parts East Rochester, and then you own X amount onto that. You're going into East Rochester's tax base instead of Pittsford or vice versa.
I never understood that. I know if you live in a village of Pittsford, you have to pay another village tax, and
Oh, gosh, I never understood that.
So it's I cringe when I see all that.
Yeah.
But this poor guy who had the gas station in North Carolina, when he found out that it was in North Carolina and everything cost more and he couldn't sell his fireworks, so he closed up shop.
He lost business because he probably was making a lot of money on fireworks.
That's terrible.
Yeah, very bad.
What else you got there?
Okay, now Easter is coming up next weekend.
Is it
Yes.
yet?
Next weekend, yeah.
Already.
Next
wow.
weekend. And remember I was telling you about the St. Patrick's scams. Well, there's scammers take advantage of any holidays, and Easter is no exception. And
There's a scam on hams. You can tell us about a ham scam?
the
Easter
Easter
lilies.
Bunny scam.
No.
Easter Bunny, yes.
No.
Oh boy.
Remember I mentioned you might get a e-card
Oh,
in your
yeah.
computer, and it has a bunny and
yeah.
eggs, and you want to open it up and see who's sending you the e-card. Well, it's, again, malware.
Yeah.
And
boy.
so I wouldn't open up any of those cards. If you see a e-card that comes from a friend or family member, call that person first to see whether they sent that to you or not.
When in doubt, don't.
Don't
Yeah.
open
Wow.
a link that you don't know.
Who would think?
True.
You would think. That's
No,
who would
you
think.
would
I would not. I would not.
You'll see the Easter Bunny and you would open it up, right?
I might open
You
it
see
up.
it as an
Yeah.
opportunity.
Actually, I'm a little bit more simplistic than that. I wouldn't even have thought of that, something like
Yeah.
that, as malicious,
But on a
As you
serious
are.
note,
Yeah.
talking about Easter, although scammers take advantage of the weather, the temperature, events. And here I got a call yesterday from a lady, young lady, or actually she was a senior. I call sometimes seniors young ladies. But
They love that.
yeah, they do.
You don't look a day over
Someone
39.
got a call. They said, "Oh yeah, we want to. We think that we could find abandoned funds from some estate of your husband."
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Okay, and blah blah blah. We're gonna search for abandoned funds. All we need is your social security number. And doesn't she provide the social security numbers
It's
of
just
herself and the husband?
Oh,
She's
she's
his husband.
Oh no.
they can make themselves sound so convincing. That's why
Yes.
I flipped out when I got that letter in the mail. Because first of all, I don't remember my mother ever having life insurance at all. And I get this letter in the mail, and it looks very official. And I just was like, "This cannot be right." I called the company. I looked them up on the internet first. It's a legitimate company. They're all over the web. I called the company. The guy on the phone was like, "Yeah, you definitely have a life insurance policy. All we need is a death certificate and fill out that form." And I still went and contacted a lawyer because I was like, I really want to know if I send them my personal information. I don't care about the money. I just want to know that if I send them my personal information, including my social security number, my mother's social security number, no.
It's unbelievable, and we're so trusting, especially in this community. I think Rochester, we have great folks. People trust. Someone calls you on the phone, they're very pleasant, and these scammers are very good on convincing you to give up information.
See, it's partly, I think, it's because of the size of Rochester. We're small enough to know each other, but we're getting so big that we can fall into those big city habits. And
Trap.
we all want to be able to trust each other, but in reality,
And scammers know that.
yeah. well,
Yeah, they sure do.
True.
They're smarter
Look,
than
hey,
we are.
As a
apparently.
follow-up, here's another one where scammers are calling people up and say, you have to register for 911 service.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Really?
Yep. Okay?
Oh,
You know, in
no.
other words, that the you have to register and you have to pay a fee. Residents must pay a fee to register their
And who's calling with
house.
that?
Huh?
Joe's 911 server? Was it like,
Are they acting as if they're the phone company?
Yeah.
No, this is the Emergency Management Division
oh, yeah.
of the state that operates the 911.
My goodness.
Oh, boy.
Official call.
Oh, man.
Wow, I have to register my house so that the police and ambulance and everything know that I'm registered so that if something comes up,
Jeez, you can't.
they can
be
show up to
kidding
my
me.
house.
This is tiring, hearing all this stuff.
And I can see
It's
how people would
happening.
believe that because we don't have payphones and stuff anymore where you could pull over and call 911, so
Yeah,
you couldn't
I'm
say,
sure
well,
you're
I
gonna
could
get
call
one for
911
your
from a
cell
payphone.
phone.
Uh-huh.
Because a lot of people now are abandoning their landlines
Yep.
and have cell phones.
Wow.
So if you get one of these calls that tell you that you need to register your for 911,
Don't
hang
do it.
up, because that's not true. The
Jeez.
911 service is you pay a tax. There's a tax
Right.
in your
If you look at
phone
your
book.
bill, it's right on the bill,
Yeah.
the surcharge you pay for.
There's
it.
a surcharge.
And on your cell phone bill, it's called the E911 charge.
These
Yes.
scams are
Oh.
making me absolutely drained at hearing them. I can't believe this. But why don't we go old school? All right, let's go old school. I'm going to
Okay.
do this one. When my wife dumps me, I'm going to South Florida, and I'm just going to go to bars and hang out with the seniors and say, "You don't look a day over 39, sweetheart." Huh?
Right?
That's not a scam.
You're going to
That's
get
just,
in good with the,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you
just
know.
legit, right? It's going old school.
How many black eyes can you get? I mean, two. So,
Yeah, but
give yourself a couple time, to heal in between.
No big
Get
deal.
right back out there.
you'd be able to get social security numbers just
That's
right
it.
off the bat.
I don't even
and
have
count
to. They'll be
numbers.
so happy to talk to me. They'll just, what's your budget, sweetie?
sweetie.
Oh my goodness.
It's unbelievable.
Hey, Carlos, who do you like on the Final Four today?
I'm
Because
going
I know you're a big Orange fan.
I don't. I dislike Ohio and I dislike Kentucky, so I'm going to go with Kansas.
You're going to take Kansas. You're going to take Kansas over Ohio State
Yes,
and Louisville over Kentucky.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Big East. I'm not a big fan of Louisville. Syracuse beat them by, I think, 18
I just wanted to
points.
say Louisville, if you don't mind. Just sounds
Louisville?
fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Patino, although he's
Yeah.
a Syracuse. So I'll go with Louisville on that game, but it's going to be a tough one.
And winning it all
Winning it all.
Monday night.
I hate to say Kentucky, but I think they're
You
the
just
best
did.
team.
All right. I had a little pool in the office, and one of the women just drew a random team. She said, "Oh, look, I have Louisville."
Louisville.
Louisville. All right, Final Four weekend is here. We'll talk about that with ESPN Radio at the top of the hour. Don't forget, Nighthawks at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Sabres at Toronto, 7 o'clock tonight. And we'll be back next Saturday. Property Source
Yay.
Radio. Next Saturday's opening day for the Red Wings.
Yay!
Yeah, next
I'm going
Saturday.
right there
From here.
From here.
All right, back to ESPN Radio right now. Thanks for joining us on Sports Radio 950 ESPN for Property Source Radio.